Hey guys, welcome back, or welcome. I'm back, or at least for a short period of time, to flying in space with Planet Head, or flying overseas with Planet Head. I guess this is what it would be. Um, as you all know, I haven't been doing as many videos recently due to some health issues and some other things. But one thing I did want to start doing was focusing on my first trip overseas to the Eve Fanfest 20. I have driven all over and flown all over the continental United States. I think I've actually been to 46 out of the 50 states in my lifetime, but I have never been overseas other than a possible trip to Canada when I was like 2 years old. There's part of me that remembers that, but that doesn't really count. So, um, what I thought I would do is actually try to start an impromptu video series that I may even post up into the Eve FanFest channel, mostly to kind of give an update to start off with as to where I'm at as far as my planning for the trip in September. And then also giving information that may be right or wrong that I've been able to research and kind of leave it out there for people to put into the comment section as to what they know. Because to be quite honest, the more and more I talk to people, the more and more I learn. And anyone that might be able to see those comments or watch later videos that I compile those comments in, if it helps them for a safer and an easier trip to Iceland, then that's awesome, and I can learn from you guys. I've been talking to just a few people. I am a little bit lucky. I work with a fellow whose family is from Iceland, so I'm slowly getting a little bit of information from him. Um, and he's actually going home over the summer, so I can get a good feel there. But I do have a list of 5 things here. You can't see that. Haha. Like I said, this is really impromptu. Maybe down the road I'll spend a little bit more time in the videos, but I really wanted to get this one out there. If you are all wondering, I don't have any plans for when I'll have the next video out. It's as I research or learn things from people. If I find something that's important that might be helpful, um, then I'll put one up. As far as an update on myself, really quickly, I am slowly getting healthier and healthier. Nothing, I think I might have addressed this in the past videos. There was nothing hugely specific, like a major thing that hit me. It was a compilation of 5 to 6 separate things that hammered me at the same time. I'm actually really happy. This, long story short, I can feel myself getting better. The scarring on my arms and things has really gone down. My dehydration is good, or I'm no longer as dehydrated all the time. I'm still there, but it's coming back. Speaking with my doctor, that sort of thing. It's just going to be a slow but better process. I don't know if it's visible or not. I'm actually down about 25 pounds um, since this all occurred, which is a good thing. It's not because I'm sick, because I have listened to my doctors and changed my diet. So that's where I'm at with that, and I'm slowly on the rebound. It's not something that's going to happen right away, but it could be a wake-up call for myself in the future. That said, don't want to hammer on that all forever. What I wanted to tell you guys was I've been focused on, now last year in November, whenever they announced the tickets, I got my ticket. I had never been overseas. I had actually gotten a passport back in, I think, 2017, with the goal of saving some money to be able to maybe take a trip overseas for the first time in like 2019, 2020. And then I don't know if you heard about that pandemic thing that happened between 2020 and 2022, um, but kind of derailed that. So this is the first time I'm ever going to be able to do that. So any help that you guys have, please let me know, and I will send that out there. So enough said. Um, Things that I normally do, and maybe I'm going about this the wrong way, but like I said, I have traveled a lot in the United States. I usually pick a place that I want to go to. I'll give you an example. Years and years ago, I wanted to go see a basketball game up in Syracuse, New York, with my best friend. Um, and we planned that trip out for probably about 4 months. The idea was get the ticket first, then to whatever you want to go to. I found that the next thing I like to do is look around the area. Um, Over the course of a couple of weeks and kind of do some Google Map searches. As you can see, I've got Google Maps up here. Kind of get a feel, a lay of the land, and then I get my hotel. After that, I know where my home base is going to be. Now I need to figure out how to get to that home base. So I'm 2/3 of the way there. And right now, I am currently at 2/3 of the way there. I have gotten my tickets for Fanfest. And then also, I have gotten my hotel. Actually, I've gotten two spaces to stay in, and both might be helpful to you. If you know of anything better, I've already booked these, so I'm going to hold on to them. But if you know of anything better, please feel free to comment or let me know. Long story short, since it was my first trip, I want to stay very simple. Now I'm just going to give you an idea here. I said I like to look at the lay of the land. Now the first part here is if you ever look at a map, and some of you know this, some of you don't. If you look at a map here, you look at Iceland here, it looks huge. It looks really, really huge. But that's because this is a global map that's then spread out, and the farther you go up to the north here, the larger the land masses grow. So in reality, in everything that I've read, now it's not this. Iceland is not this big. Iceland is approximately the size of New York, right here, or even Pennsylvania, right here. One of these two. I like Pennsylvania because that's where I live at. But long story short, so from a map size, it's about half that size there. So in reality, it's probably the size of Ireland. Okay, so that was my first part. Okay, where am I looking at here? Watched all sorts of videos and stuff like that about traveling the ring road that goes around here. I'll talk about that later on. But I realized I probably just want to stay in Reykjavik since I want to keep it as simple as possible for my first trip to Iceland. I've already got an event that I'm going to for a couple of days, plus some outside EVE events that I'll probably try to join in on. So I'm going to have stuff to do, plus everything that I've read, Reykjavik seems like a really awesome place to go. So what I've done is I've slowly started doing this plan, and as I do these videos, maybe you'll see a few more. But the first thing I did was I wanted to find a hotel that was simple. And what I did find, and this might be very helpful to you guys, the EVE event is in, I'm going to butcher this. It is at the Lager Laugardalshol Sports Center? Laugardalshol? Laugardalshol? Laugardalshol. I don't know. I'm sorry. It is at this event center right here. And so what I wanted to do was to keep it simple, find a hotel that was fairly close to that. Now, the event goes from the 21st through the 23rd. I'm actually flying in on the 17th because from everything in the EVE FanFest groups and stuff that I've read, from what I understand, if you go in early, there's a lot of events that happen before it goes on. So my goal was to actually go the 17th of the Sunday through the 24th, which is the following Sunday. That way I could get into Reykjavik, check things out, get comfortable where I was at, and then go to the event, and then spend 1 or 2 more days in Reykjavik and whatever goes on there. So long story short, I found a really and I want to keep it in a hotel that I knew about. Now, there's a lot of hotels that are in Reykjavik. You get deals off of Eve Fanfest, Eve Online, stuff like that. I wanted to keep it simple, and I found a Hilton here that is fairly close to the event site right here. It's all I pretty much within walking distance. Now it's going to be a little bit of a walk, but as I lose weight, well, this will be a lot easier. Um, but it is right across this road here. Plus a lot of different. I'll probably go into this other stuff later on as I learn things. But there's all sorts of other event sites here. So the Hilton Reykjavik Nordica is right across the highway. Now, I will warn you, I booked this hotel from the 17th through the 21st because it's all booked up the week of the Fanfest or the days of the Fanfest. I'm going to keep an eye out for it, but so I could only get it for that first half of the week. And which is fine, but it gave me a nice hotel that I knew I could stay at and not worry about anything. I am not downtown, which is what a lot of people say you want to be in, is downtown down here. But I just wanted to keep it simple. And there are plenty of bus routes here and things like that that you can tell. And then, so I got that booked about a month ago. Last night, I booked my following stays, and I will tell you this: I had originally planned on staying until that Sunday. I so liked the plan or the option that I found that I'm actually staying an extra day through the next Monday because I went through Verbo, and now that I'm not plugging Verbo, I actually used to have an Airbnb house that I used to rent out, so I'm not plugging either one. But I went to Verbo and I found a really nice place over in this area right here for 4 days, and it was actually a lot less costly, and it's its own little apartment. So if that is an option for you guys, check it out. I've never gone through Verbo before, VRBO, but I found their interface to be very, very easy to go through, and I read a lot of the reviews that were there. Having had an Airbnb myself, I know what to look for with reviews. And I feel really comfortable with the place that I rented for 4 days. And I instantly got contact from the person who was messaging me, who sent me a really good piece of information that might be helpful for you guys, which I have at the end, number 5 here, of incidentals. Now, why am I talking about hotels right now? Why do I always do it this way? Well, what I've found is there's 2 ways to book hotels. The first one is to book it way in the future so you get a discount and you get your options. But the second one is to wait until the last moment to book a hotel, and then they're trying to fill up spots. Well, I'm not willing. Anywhere in between, you're probably going to pay a premium on those hotel rooms. And this has been in the U.S. side. Now, if I'm wrong outside the U.S., let me know. But this is what I found. Hold on, I need some coffee. I think this video is going to go a lot longer than I was planning. Okay, so I got to speed myself up here. So I got my hotel. Like I said, got my ticket, got my hotel. Now I got to start looking at flights. Now I have not booked a flight. I have not, and I'm still planning on working on that, and I'm taking my time doing it. What I thought I would do is give you guys an idea of some things that I have found out. Because booking the flight directly pertains to some other things that might be important. So I'm going to zoom out here. And if this is helpful to anyone, what I have found so far, I live on the East Coast. I live in Pennsylvania. And so far I've been able to figure out that there are direct flights every day from Boston, Massachusetts, up here. These seem to be the lowest price ones here. Then also there's daily flights out of Newark. Where is Newark? Newark, New Jersey. And New York here. These be a little. Wow. are a little bit pricier. And then I've also found that out of Baltimore, they are flying direct flights every day out of there. Um, Other things I've noticed in the FanFest stuff is there's some direct flights coming out of Seattle, out of Detroit, and even out of Colorado, if I'm not mistaken. So if you're coming from another part of the country, those are some spots to look for that might be able to save you some money. When I talk direct flights, usually saves me money going that way. Now, if I'm wrong, if I do watch a lot of travel videos, sometimes you can get a cheap flight by flying to another weird spot like Bermuda and then flying to wherever you're going. But I don't think that's the case here with um, going to Iceland because it's a final destination, not a bounce destination in my mind. But those are three spots that on the East Coast that I think you might be able to get to. So if you're on the East Coast, shoot for one of those and keep your eyes out for prices. If I see prices dip, I will definitely let everybody know. Or if you have some better ideas for that, let me know. Now, here's a big one, and this goes right along with the flights. And I've actually found this out just recently. I'm going to go back over to Iceland here. And this directly pertains into the flight, but then also into the next thing that I wanted to go over. And that is the airport for Reykjavik. Now, when I first looked at the map, I love looking at maps. And when I first looked at the map for Reykjavik, I said, oh, well, this isn't too bad. I've got the airports right here. And literally, I could get a bicycle and ride this up here if I was in shape enough. But it's not too bad. It's right down near central Reykjavik as well. So this is awesome. This is wrong. This is a local airport right here. This is not the airport that you'll most likely be flying into. If I'm understanding correctly, again, where you are flying into is, let's see if I can find it here just by visualizing. If not, we will. Keflavik. The international airport is actually, if I'm not mistaken, over here in Keflavik. There it is. So look at that. Your flight will land in Keflavik, and then you're going to have to drive. I think this is like a 45-minute to an hour drive here. And my understanding is there's three ways to get from Keflavik to Reykjavik. The first is a cab. They do not have Uber, from what I understand, unless it's changed. I'm not a big fan of Uber anyway. Bad guys. But I've used them, but hardly at all. So the first one is you can take a cab. Now, from what I understand, that can be really pricey. Close to $100, if not more, for a one travel ticket. But you can do that, and there's always cabs sitting there. The second one that I found out about is what's called the Flybus. You can look this up. But the Flybus travels from Keflavik Airport to the city center, and that travels, looks like either every half hour to every hour. Looks like an hour and a half down here that you can get on, and it will transport you from the airport to the city center. And then I think it does also possibly stop at a couple other. I think it'll drop you off, and then there's smaller buses that will take you directly to your hotels. The third one, and the pricing on this is a lot less than a cab, but still a little bit pricey, but it'll get you to and from. So keep an eye out for that. Do a little bit of research on that. If it's something that you just want to get into Reykjavik and be done with it, go for it. The last one I looked up is car rental. Just to give you a feel for it, this is just some generic pricing for going out of having a car that you pick up at the airport and you drop off at the airport. And for the amount of time that I'm staying there, for 8 days, it's currently running about $534 right here. Now, this is for an economy little bitty car, which means I need to keep losing weight. Now, why am I talking about this one? because these two here, now this is just Hertz, I'm just pulling this up as an example. But these two here, if you notice, these are manual transmissions, whereas this is an automatic transmission. Now, I can actually drive manual, but I haven't done it in probably, well, I did help move some cars years ago, so probably about 10 years. But then I also know that European manual can sometimes be different from American manual. So why mess with it when I can just pay an extra $7 more or $30 more and have an automatic? Now, this is a little bitty car. This is not your Rover to go up in the mountains with and stuff like that. I just want something. This is something I'm looking at right now. I'm going to keep looking out for my options on this and see what else. And if you guys have any ideas, please let me know. I know there's some rideshare things and stuff like that. So if you have any ideas on this, please let me know. But this is my current one. Why do I want to do this instead of the bus? Because I want to, if I knew where I was going, like if I knew the town that I was going to or the city that I was going to, or I knew I didn't need a vehicle, I would probably just go straight into the city and then rent a car or a taxi in between. But I really think, and I know this looks expensive here, but over the course of the time that I'm there, I think the ability to go anywhere I want to go to the ocean if I want to, or go out to one of the swimming pools or see an event, I want to be able to do that. So I'm saving my money and I'm going to put something forward. Now, if you guys have any better ideas than this, you let me know. But this is something that I'm looking at this point. So that is number 3. Oh, and why do I say that? Because, number one, if it took me $100 to take a cab to get to Reykjavik and $100 to get back, that's already $200 right there. And I'm walking around. So, that said, the last part that I've been looking at recently, now I know I want to do some more videos as I learn more about it, but I've been watching a lot of videos recently. There's things about the Ring Road, there's things about different places you can go to visit. I think on my first day there, and there's events that Eve Online is putting out for people before the actual Fanfest happened that I'm looking into. But I think the first thing that I want to do is actually do a walking food tour, probably the first Monday that I'm there in Reykjavik. And I'm going to give you an example here. I'm not saying this is the one I want to do, but you know what? I really like these guys. I like the video. I wish they did more videos. They've got some really fun YouTube videos, and that's how I found them, because you know I live off of YouTube. But long story short, they're called Wake Up Reykjavik, but I think there's some other things there. But the idea is these run about $100 to $150 for a day, and they're great for, like, here's an example. This food tour right here is 15,900 ISK. So let's say I have my 15,900. So we're talking $115. And if I'm not mistaken, I gotta look at the tour more, but if you guys want to check them out, I'm sure there's other companies that do it. They take you out and you walk around all over Iceland trying different restaurants. And I think it's up to 6 at the time. And it will get me out that first day to check things out, get a feel for the area, maybe meet a few people, and just have some general fun. And that's what I'm looking for right now, is something to get started with, so to start the trip off right, so that I can just do whatever I want to do, roll into the Fanfest, have fun there, go on some bar tours at night, and then maybe at the end of the week go out and use my little bitty car to drive out and see a waterfall or something like that. But that right there is my first idea of things I want to do. If you guys have other. And I have literally just found this in the last week. Um, and you know what? My number 5 just showed up, or part of my number 5. You know her, you love her. Her name is Maya. You haven't seen her in a little while. Um, Come on up, baby. There she is. Say hi to everybody. This is Maya. So this is the thing that I'm having to do the most research on, is taking care of all the incidentals. Like, what do you do with a girl like this for a week and a half while you're not even in the country? Okay? So I may even do some videos on that because she's awesome and I need to make sure she's taken care of. But different things like clothing that you should wear, the plugs that you should take with you. One at my Verbo. Alrighty, so I'm gonna finish this up. Then we're gonna go play with some golf balls, okay? Because that makes you happy. Right now, I got about 5 more minutes of this, and then I'll come talk to you, okay? I guess not. All right, off you go. Good girl. So, sorry, still got the thing. Um, so one thing that was brought up, plugs. My Verbo host, as soon as I put in my booking of the home, got back to me right away and let me know, that everything was ready, stuff like that. And I told them that I was coming for the Eve Fanfest, and they said, "Oh, we've actually had some people through that have done that before." The only issue that they've had in the past is with that group was that the TV that they had, the flat screen that they had, they didn't have the correct hookups for them to hook their computer into, so they could have a big screen and a little screen. And I replied back and I said, I am a Eve uh, relaxed player. Don't worry about it. As long as I got my laptop with me, I am good to go. But little things like that I'd like to, if there's anything that you guys know that might be helpful. Places to get food. I've seen a couple different places like that. Um, Places I should visit that you would recommend other people visiting. I'd like to try to do videos at least once every week or 2 weeks. We've got about 4 months until FanFest. But anything that you can do, drop it in the comments section. Or you can message me straight out in the game under the username Pilgrim, Pill space Grimm. It's a new character that I've created just for the Eve 20 Fan Fest. I'll probably do a little bit of an update on him. I'm having a lot of fun with him. It's kept me zoned and having fun with Eve again. So, yeah. I'm sorry, I'm getting dehydrated again. So, I haven't talked this much in quite some time. Okay, so, like I said, I just want to post this up there. I don't know when I'll get another video up, but I'd like to start doing, but I want them to be focused on this and everybody having fun. I may do a little bit of an update with my EVE Online exploits. I've completely changed the way that I've been playing recently, and I've been having a lot of fun. Went back to the basics. That's a big thing for me, keeping it simple and enjoying the game again, and not pressuring myself as much. And so, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. If anybody has any plans out there for FanFest, please let me know. I will try to do all sorts of maybe different videos for this, but we'll see what happens. That's it. So all I got to say is fly safe, fly dangerously, fly hard like you want, and hopefully I will see you this year at FanFest. Have a good one. Bye-bye.